Okay, the opening for this month is a mysterious, long forgotten opening.
Yeti.
E4, E5, F4. The
King's Gambit.
King's Gambit. Our last month's opening. Now listen. Last month's opening was Queen's Gambit. Now is the time to listen properly, guys. Your chance to guess was done. So this is an opening that used to be played like all the time in the past. Like 100 years back, everybody used to play this opening. If you don't play the King's Gambit, it was considered like you're not brave, you're not cool. But nowadays nobody plays it. At the top level, very rarely people play it because black gets a good position somewhat if black plays correctly. But if you play correctly at your level, you're not going to play everything correctly. So you can play this opening as white, and with black also it's fine. There's no problem. So it is a completely fine opening to try as white. You're basically putting pressure on the opponent right from the second move. What is the best move for black? Yes, Shalya?
D5.
D5. Okay, have you learned that opening? No, you just play that you're playing.
Because we open up the bishop for G4 check, and like when they take, we also take.
There's no check on G4 first of all. How is it G4
Like
check?
we can give. Ooh.
This is the queen, not this. Anyway, So D5 is one of the moves that black tries. It's called the counter gambit, Falkbeer counter gambit, where you're giving back you're doing the gambit on the opponent. But that's a complicated line. We'll learn it afterwards. But the main move for black.
D6 takes the pawn.
Okay, so in the Queen's Gambit, when they give up the pawn, you don't take it because you're giving the sender. It's better to hold things. In the King's Gambit, playing D6 is not a good opening because after takes, it opens up your sender. So the best option is just pawn takes pawn.
You can also give queen to H4 check.
Where?
On H4.
In this position. Queen H4 check is just a silly check. It doesn't do anything. If you want to get kicked and go back, then fine. You can give a check. So that's not useful. So after F4, after playing the King's Gambit, black's main response is pawn takes pawn. If you don't take and play D6 and all, then I will take, and white will have a very nice F file. White will have more active pieces. So this is a mistake already. If you defend the pawn, like takes, not takes directly because Queen H4 is a problem. Bring out the knight, then you take. Bring out the bishop and castle. You get everything without even giving up the pawn. Yes, Praneet?
So in King's Gambit, it's always beneficial and castling on the king's side.
Because your rook will come into the game fast. Yeah, but this side is also fine. So let's go back. Let's take it a little slower. So in the King's Gambit, black's response should be, Rayan Shukla, what should black do?
Pawn takes pawn.
Pawn takes pawn. Now black is threatening something. Black is making a slight threat actually. Many people make this blunder here as white. They go grab the sender. But that's a mistake. If you do this, it's a mistake. Why? Praneet.
Queen H4?
Yeah. I think you've fallen for this long back when we did King's Gambit like
Maybe,
1 year back. I remember somebody has repeatedly allowed Queen H4. I don't know. So Queen to H4 is the problem. Because black is already taken, you don't have G3 because I just take it. That's 2 pawns to the good. And if you move the king, it's already bad. So this is a good position for black. So that is why before playing D4, which is what we want to do, we should play. Veer Vikram, what do you think white should do here?
We should play the.
It is a threat. It's a clear threat. What do you do when there's a threat?
Knight F3.
Yeah. Knight F3 is very much necessary before we go with our compensation of D4, which I've already done. Now the main move for black. What should black do? Anyone?
Knight F6.
Knight F6 is okay. I'll play E5 while getting. Yeah.
D5.
Which one?
D5.
D5.
Because you want to get the bishop to you want to pin the bishop.
It's a useful move. You're playing this, opening up your bishop.
Yes.
Okay.
But
Makes sense. I'll push the pawn. I'll not take, but it's useful. It's a good thing to attack the center. So that's one option. There's something better for black. If you play this move, then black can still be in a better position. What is that move? It's very important to remember this when you play, because if you don't play this move, white will be doing fine. The reason why white plays the King's Gambit is to have an active bishop here, active rook here, and full pressure on f7. So more development, more center control, more everything. That's why white's playing the king's gambit. Black should take the bull by its horns and play g5. You are threatening g4. There's no time for white to play d4 or bishop c4 because now g4 will come and then queen h4 will come. So now white has to be careful. So this is where white has to choose basically. What do you think you will do if this happens today? Which it probably will. Your opponent will probably play this line. So what do you do here for white? Yes, Praneeth?
h3.
Okay, this is the most standard move, right? I mean, your opponent is threatening g4, you should play h3.
But then d4, d5.
D5, no problem. You just push
Push
it.
it.
d4 pawn
I
takes.
can counter it.
How?
Like, you move bishop to c4, like c4.
I push g4.
We move it to and e5,
I play check.
and then I move my king.
King. So you'll be floating with the king. So if you allow this, you're saying bishop c4, it is actually one of the options, but not for this, not for playing knight e5, because that's good for black. You are the one in trouble. King e2 and
Why not f1?
you can play f1, but then just bishop c5. You're threatening mate, so you'll have to stop that. So the attacker becomes attacked. Position becomes good for black. Let's go back. Let's go back. We'll discuss that move, but not with knight e5. So g4 is a threat. So x3 makes sense, but you're weakening all these squares. This square you're weakening. So if a knight lands there, it will be a good position for knight. So x3 is a little bit passive. Like you're stopping it, but by weakening your king side. Already f pawn is not there. So this, if it becomes over, it's a little risky. The second option is
G4.
h4. No, don't play g4. g4 is a blunder. Why is g4 bad, guys?
It is like
You're opening up everything. I can play en passant. You're opening up your king completely. So h4 is the main option actually. h3 is just the third option. Main option is h4. Why is h4 a decent idea?
because but they can play g4, no?
They can play g4, but they can't play queen h4, no? That's why.
This
So
means
you-
we
we
can
can move the knight.
knight to
e5.
e5.
Right? You're attacking g4. g4.
And we don't have to worry about the
Yeah, queen h4 is no longer a
And after
problem.
that we can play c4.
Which one?
c4. Bishop
C4?
c4.
Bishop c4, but it's black's turn, no? So black will.
No, after the his move.
Okay, but you're attacking pawn. Why would you play bishop? Oh, to attack this. But it's black's turn. Yes, Haripra.
So I think black might play d6.
d6. Then you're defending this, but they'll still take. Then white will just take. White will get back the pawn, and white is happy.
Knight to f6.
Yeah. So black should play
Knight f6.
knight f6. They will still take.
Because you want the pawn back. No.
How? How will black get the pawn? Get an extra pawn here?
So knight
Black.
takes and then we
White
take with
got-
the queen.
Knight takes here.
Here.
Black will still be a pawn.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. Is it too confusing?
No, I got it.
No, okay. Let's revise it. First, let's revise everything that we've learned so far.
e4.
So, e4,
E4,
e5,
E5.
f4 is the king's gambit.
Yes.
Now, first thing to understand, it's always better to accept the queen's gambit. I mean, king's gambit. Queen's gambit we should not accept. King's gambit we should accept. So, pawn takes pawn. Now, white must not carelessly play some random move. White has to play Arita.
So white has to play knight to f3.
Yeah, to stop queen h4. Now, the most ambitious move for black here, Shaurya, is
G5.
yeah, and this is where we are discussing white's options. So far we discussed h3, which is a normal move, but it weakens your king side. The main option is h4, and how should black react to this?
G4.
G4 is the main move because you want to keep the pawns together. Now the knight will move, and black will play knight f6. Main move. It's knight f6. So that if white takes, black will take here.
So
Black still is a pawn. Yes, Shaurya.
We can get a pawn.
How?
Like we move D.
4.
D. No, like when the knight takes on E4.
Wait, 1 second. So let's say you're taking this pawn, right?
Yeah.
I will take here.
We move to
D3.
Yeah.
That is
But
not
that
getting,
is-
you're not getting any pawn back. It's not that easy. King's Gambit means it's a complicated game. White is giving some chances to black in the opening. So now knight g3 and is very comfortable for black. I mean, it's not bad, but it's definitely not
Great.
comfortable. So you have to be careful there, like when you do this. So what should white do here? Let's go back. What does white need to do? Knight g3 cannot be stopped. It will happen. So maybe if you go back, this position, instead of knight takes pawn, here itself you can play either d3 or bishop to c4, threatening f7. So it's going to be a wild game. So when you play King's Gambit as white, you have to get ready for a wild game where anything can happen. f7 is hanging, g4 is hanging, e4 is hanging, everything is hanging. What will black probably do here? What does black need to do? This seems like a big threat, right?
Yes,
So what to do?
yes. When I'm in like a position like this, when I cannot castle,
Yeah.
then yeah, I'm feeling like I don't know what to play.
Yeah, so it's a opening where you will probably not know what to play for a long time. So, what to do though? There's only one move that
So
makes
black.
sense.
King
Yeah,
e7?
black. Start running when somebody is about to come into a house. We escape and run. No, we have to stay there and fight. No,
So we can move the
King e7, knight takes pawn. You win a rook. Yeah.
Queen e7.
into east.
Oh, Queen e7.
Yes.
Queen e7. Okay, you're defending, but I can still take. Bishop takes.
Then
Or
then
knight.
queen takes. Then
You-
you
You want to
blunder.
give a big queen? Oh, queen takes this.
No, the queen takes the bishop, the
Yeah.
pawn,
but What pawn is it?
the pawn on e4.
Oh, you mean if I play knight takes pawn, you will take here?
Yeah.
Ah, so I'll
I'll
take you
take
the
the
bishop. No, it's a check. You'll take it the check. Say the whole board will be on fire when this happens. Knight takes pawn, but queen takes pawn. I can just play queen e2. I'm still in a great position as white, right? It's difficult to evaluate this kind of
So we
positions.
can take the pawn on c2.
No, you can't. It's illegal. Queen is looking at the king on the same line as the king. So somebody has to exchange queens. There's no other way here. So we've gone too deep into the position basically. So let's go back a little bit. There is another third option which we haven't discussed. After playing the King's Gambit. So if you are wondering, is there any way where I can keep the game calm? No. There's no way to play King's Gambit calmly. The whole board will be on fire some way or the other. Like kings may not be castled, pawns are running down. So it will be difficult to like tame a King's Gambit properly. You have to just accept the chaos. You have to play a chaotic chess. So e4, e5, f4. You can play d6, but then you are just getting a bad position out of the opening as black. So if you want a good advantage, you got to take. And now white will of course play knight f3. Black plays g5. The second option for white in this position, the main option is h4. Second option is just bishop c4. This is called the Muzio Gambit.
Muzio Gambit?
Yeah, sorry, Muzio Gambit, not Muzio. Muzio Gambit. Basically, white is telling black. What is white telling black?
You
Guys?
play.
You can take.
Yeah,
you can attack my
play.
line.
You can play g4, no problem.
But I
Shabri
can-
was saying you can play g4, then I'll run. I'll attack your f7. But no, what black is saying is you can play g4. I'm just going to castle.
What?
It's a gambit. It's a piece gambit. It's a piece sacrifice.
Oh yeah,
You're
gambits
giving
are
up
like
the-
brilliant move.
So basically, you're sacrificing a knight for better development and pressure on f7. So
Okay, and
if
then
you
the
think
black-
this is winning for black, it's not clear. Black is better but not winning. There is compensation for the piece. White has got full pressure here. White can play d4. There is enough compensation for the piece, but if black plays correctly, black should be better.
What is the correct?
What should black do? Let's think about it.
Here.
If somebody feels wild and tries to play Muzio
So
Gambit
none of
today,
the pieces are.
yeah,
developed.
that's the thing. So black has to play active moves fast. What move should black play here, guys? Anybody? Yes, Aripra.
Queen.
So bishop f6.
Huh? How will you play bishop f6? You mean h6.
No. Bishop d6.
Bishop d6. Okay. Awkward square for the bishop. Already pieces are not developed. So if you play here, this guy cannot come out. So it's slightly awkward there. If
Pawn.
you're defending the pawn, then bishop h6 is better. Now why go to d6?
Oh, yes.
Anyway, Pranit.
Knight h6.
Knight h6.
Protecting the f7 pawn.
But already pieces are not developed and you're putting a piece in the corner. So I'll play queen takes pawn, I'll play d4, I'll just stay comfortable. Enjoy the sender, enjoy my active pieces. Your pieces will just be suffering. Anyone else? Shaurya?
Bishop to. Bishop to
Okay, where we come?
Queen to f6.
Exactly, that's the best option. You have to ask Her Majesty to come and defend. You are up a piece, so you have to bring your defenses in here. You're not making it easy for White to take the pawn. If White wants to take, he can take. But then there will be an exchange of queens, and that's fine, that's good for Black. So White will play d3. Because there was a threat of Queen d4, by the way. A fork. Bishop is not defended. And you can't play d4. So d3 is the main move. Asking to play bishop takes pawn. Now what should Black do, guys? Where we come? Yeah. How? Where? Queen d4 is not a fork. I'll just move my king, mister. That's not a fork. It was a fork when bishop was hanging. Now it's not hanging.
Bishop
Yes,
at 6.
yeah. Now you have to play bishop h6. Make it difficult for White to take the pawn. You're telling White you can take the pawn, but I'll take, you will take, I'll take, you will take. It will be full exchanges and I'll be up a piece. So White will not take. White will probably play knight to c3. And game goes on. Black is up a piece, but Black is slowly developing.
That means
So
I cannot
Veer
castle-
Vikram is moving on
We're
that.
looking, can you sit still for a few minutes? Yeah.
That means I cannot castle on the king side for black. Like
For
in
black?
position.
You can, it's slightly open, but it's better than being in the center. Okay, if you, so Black's dream would be to play knight out, to play bishop out, and castle this side. If that happens, then Black is up a piece. So that's like a dream yet, still because
But
White
sir,
is
White
putting
will
pressure.
be keeping.
Yeah, White will continue to put pressure easily. Like knight d5 is coming. You'll probably have to play knight e7 to stop that. Then he will play bishop d2 and then bishop here. Pieces will come in fast. e5 will come at some point. So it's not going to be fun, but you're up a piece as Black, right? So it's going to be a complicated game.
Sir, what is
So-
the date?
Date is 1st May.
Oh,
We have to play this opening
I
today.
thought it was
Why is
30th
this
of
opening like
April.
this? My brain is in brain.
So you have to. This is how chess started. Like one of the most oldest openings is this. So we have to play it, of course, and learn it.